Morjes! Tervetuloa Metalliluolan videohaastattelun pariin. Nimeni on Janne Lesonen. Tänään meillä on vieraana suoraan rapakon takaa Floridan palmujen alta pitkän linjan thrash metal pumppu, joka on tunnettu Andrew W. Kane live-kitaristina sekä hänen omasta Intoxicated -yhtyeensä kitaristi-vokalistina. Intoxicated julkaisi juuri taannoin tässä heidän viimeisimmän EP:nsä World, joka on myös arvioitu Metalliluolan sivulla. Pidemmittä puheitta annan teille Erik Payne. Olkaa hyvät. Hello, Erik Payne of Intoxicated. How are you doing and how are things in Florida at the moment?
I'm fantastic and thank you for having me. Yeah, things are great in Florida. Weather is beautiful. I love living here, man.
Have you lived there since forever, or have you moved there?
I was born and raised here.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Born and raised. According to your Intoxicated's Instagram story, I saw that you did, and also you, yeah, fuck it. You mentioned that you did a show last weekend. Where was that, and how did it go?
It was fantastic, and it was at the I say this lightly, but the world famous Brass Mug in Tampa, Florida, where so many great death metal bands have played. You know.
Oh, so it's like a legendary joint.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been around for like 30 years at least, and I mean, all the heavy hitters, Florida heavy hitters have played there and still do. And it's interesting, and that's another reason why I love living in Florida. Some people would not agree with me and would probably strongly disagree with me, but we've been playing shows the last 3 months, nice. Where a lot of people aren't even going outside.
Yeah.
So we're grateful.
Yeah. And generally, what's the pandemic situation in Florida? Because I think it also varies from state to state. So what's the dilly-dally over there?
There's a pandemic?
So I've heard.
No, it's pretty mellow here. Like regular stores, they ask that you will, wear a mask, or restaurants, you have to, it's a little odd to me, but you have to wear one as you come through the door. But then as soon as you get to your table, you can take it off. But besides that, it even varies from city to city, because like I said, Tampa's been having shows for the last 3 months. In Orlando, where I live, just opened back up. So now all bars are back open, and they're at 50% capacity.
Yeah.
So we'll take it, Like I said, we're grateful, man. There's so many people all over this country that can't play anywhere. They're stifled.
Yeah, true. And how the metal community has taken those shows, especially because there was a lot of time, about 6 months or more or less, that we had no shows. So how did those go?
Well, gratefully, man, people are showing up. As a matter of fact, they because they cannot go to full capacity, they're literally where people will be outside, and as people leave, they'll let a few more come in. It was really nice to see. It was nice to see a line outside before doors opened, because we had no idea what to expect. There could be nobody showing up. And truth be told, we've gotten some people that have written to us and said, "What the fuck are you thinking, playing?" But I don't ever even respond. You can't win conversations like that. So I just don't play that game. But it was also very telling, and made me feel, not that I really gave a fuck, but it really made me feel better, because, guys that are really fucking doing this for a living, we had guys from Municipal Waste, from Nasty Savage, from Obituary, all attending the show, and hanging out. So, we just feel, I don't know, man. If we have the opportunity to play and work, we're going to.
Yeah, nice. Were there any mosh pits?
Oh, absolutely. and that's what I'm saying. It's kind of almost you know, maybe some people again would strongly disagree, but you know, you see people come in, they have masks on, you know, they shoot this thing at your head to see what your temperature is, and then you look in the pit, and there's 60 guys with no shirts on and no masks on, just sweating on each other. You know, I don't know, man, but like I said, I enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was also last. Wait, we're in September. Yeah, early last month we had also like the first metal festival here in Tampere, Finland, and it was also because every other festival was cancelled. So it was one of the first, if not the first, like opportunity for people to like go mental again of metal. So it was also like weird and kind of like complicated internally for me to like see people in the mosh pit, but it's just how we have to like deal.
Yeah, it is strange. I mean, I would be a liar if I didn't say that, you know, there were times it made me smile, and then there were times it made me kind of go like, what the fuck are we doing, you know?
Yeah, but I think we'll sooner or later it will all like normalize. Hopefully sooner than later. Yes.
Absolutely. I know there, you know, there's a ton of people, like I said, that just cannot do anything right now, you know? So again, we're grateful to be where we are.
Absolutely. So about from the Instagram story, and this is the Instagram thing that I was about to say, but I mixed those two things. You did some sort of a video shooting with Andrew WK, and since you've been playing with him in his live band for the past over 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
So was this video for like Intoxicated featuring Andrew, or was it like only to like Andrew WK thing?
It was an Andrew WK video, and I believe there was a few reasons why it was Intoxicated as his band. One, I believe, would probably do with what we're just talking about, that some people, the Andrew WK live band is from all over the country. So some people, you know, it wasn't as convenient for them to be here. But also, it was kind of paying homage to how the band started, how the Andrew WK lineup started, because essentially Donald Tardy from Obituary is who put together the whole lineup for Andrew. And during that time, Donald was playing for us while Obituary was kind of on hiatus. He played with us for roughly 4 years. And so when Andrew originally got his first deal, they said, "Hey man, we'll sign you, but you need a live band," you know? And his favorite band in the world was Obituary. So he swung for the fences and just literally wrote Donald a letter, you know, and none of us had ever heard of him, obviously, but Donald explained it was the nicest, longest letter he'd ever received in his life. And, you know, he's like, we got to pay attention to this dude. And anyway, so that's how, so essentially Andrew hired Intoxicated at the beginning, you know, so it was kind of paying homage to that.
Yeah. Nice. I think this is also because you're also a huge fan of Obituary and Death. The massive Death and Obituary fan. So let's play like a scenario, like an alternative timeline scenario. If like back in the day there was like an opportunity for you to join, for example, Chuck or the Tardy Boys asked you to join either Death or Obituary respectively, what would you do? Which one would you choose?
Well, that's a tough one, but I have to be completely honest. I believe I would have had no choice but to play an Obituary because of the technicality of Death.
They went pretty technical, especially in the later years.
Absolutely. Like growing up here was sorry, I don't mean to like take over, but growing up here was so fantastic because those were, as we were, you know, younger teenagers and stuff, starting to go to keg parties and all that. Those were the bands we were going to see at warehouse parties, you know. And Bobby Coble, who played who did all the leads on Symbolic for Death. So him and Ken Andrews, who is now the guitar player in Obituary, they had a band called Azrael. and they started in like junior high school, like 7th grade, and man, going to see those guys, it literally would make you want to run home and practice, but at the same time, just take your guitar and throw it in the fucking trash can,
Yeah.
Because they were just so good, man. And we were surrounded by that. And it's very easy for me to say that my favorite bands and influences, everything all came from right centrally located where I was from. And it was a fucking intimidating treat,
Yeah. Talented people. Oh man.
Bastards.
Yeah. What can you say?
It's never came easy for me, man. I've always, I play every single day. I'm just being completely honest. I started out as a left-handed bass player, really shitty.
Oh.
But I didn't really enjoy bass at that time anyway. And but finding a left-handed guitar just seemed very difficult, And my buddy said to me, he's like, "Well, you suck anyway." He's like, "Just buy a right-handed guitar." And anyway, I played my first show like 30 days later. It kind of came natural, and I say this in a joking way, but I think everyone else is wrong when they call it right-handed guitar, because I'm using my left hand as the predominant hand, so it just came natural that way.
Nice, cool. Yeah, there's a goddamn mosquito, but I tried to like a Karate Kid it like mid-air. So, yeah. Let's talk about the new EP World, which I feel was enormously energetic and a killer sounding EP. Congrats for that. Yes.
Thank you.
And that was also the reason when I heard it, I was in the sauna and I put it on. I was like immediately, shit. And then after a couple of spins, I immediately also I need to get to know you guys a bit more, and thus I sent the interview request, and I want to spread you guys around here a bit more.
So appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And but what would be your personal sales pitch of the EP for your friend in a bar, if you had to somehow quickly summarize what the World EP is all about? How would you put it?
For me, it's fairly easy because it's honest. It's as honest as we can possibly be. And truth be told, I'm one of those guys who like sitting in a studio. I look at like engineers, in the studio, and like tour bus drivers, kind of the same. Like I admire what they do, but I'm like, no fucking way could I do that. I just wouldn't want to. But that being said, about a year ago, I bought Pro Tools, and so man, and so now I know about 100 more times more than about Pro Tools than I do even about general computer use. So I tracked that whole album myself, made every fucking mistake about 19 times. And I tracked that whole record before I even knew how to create a zip file on my computer, just to put it into perspective. But that being said, I believe, man, that we were able to capture, we know what it is and what it isn't, but I believe we were able to capture a very raw, real sound.
True.
And I think that it was very important to run with that and to not hide from that and not try to over polish something, because it's not who we are as people. It's not it's not how we feel. I pretty much live how that record sounds, like you're, grabbing onto your steering wheel and hanging on for fucking dear life, and some people have said that I don't know how they mean it, but I'm taking it in a good way, but they're saying that the sound makes them feel nervous, and
Ooh.
I'm like, yes, fuck yes, good, because that's how I feel all the time, in the best way, and because we have not done anything for so long, there is a sense of urgency that I am holding on to for dear life. It's exciting, and this might sound ridiculous, but we're just getting started,
Yeah, in a way, because it's also been so long, so there hasn't been that much momentum, but I think this is in sense of momentum, this is kind of like a surprise tsunami of thrash metal. Like before you even see it, boosh! There's a huge wave of these great 6 songs, and then like I think now it's really good place to continue and putting out cool stuff.
We just because we're just following instinct and following what's happening, but we have not stopped writing. You know, the same process that got us to be able to create Wald, that just hasn't stopped. We've just continued on and on, you know. And I feel like it's really important. Again, I'd be a liar if I didn't say some of these things I find exciting, you know, and are grateful that these things are happening. But it doesn't really matter, because the facts are we put something out. People are either going to like it or not. I can't control that. So I find it best just to continue working, you know?
Yeah. And also, like, I gotta say, I find the word, like, that people have felt nervous listening to it. It's a fascinating statement. But at least I didn't feel nervous. I was just like, oh yeah, this has some certain of like essence and spirit that I want in my music. And I think it like the first initial idea for me, like I had read like the official promotional, like the copy text that that you guys are from Florida and all, but I think when I put the EP on, I wasn't like constantly thinking about that you guys are Florida, but immediately from the sound, it has that some sort of like indescribable Florida metal essence because immediately the music made me think about death, even though you guys don't like play anything near like what death is, like death metal, but there is that some sort of like evil essence that I really digged.
Well, I really appreciate that. And it's funny because people will say, how are you getting that old school sound? You know, it's like, well, that's all we fucking got, you know, like it's just who we are. But I'm glad people are digging it. And it's great. You know, we like I said, we're going to record a full length next. And we have a very small team, and I'm so grateful for them. But it's really cool. No dollars have changed hands. And so like I just went down, and a buddy of mine who's done a lot of really great records, he just took over the old Morbid Angel studio. And so man, but we went in there, and so do you know who the Genitortures are?
Sorry, genital torture?
No, the Genitortures.
Genitortures. No, I cannot say.
Okay, well, it's kind of a theatrical kind of horror, sexual, like band. You know, this girl Jen, but she was married to Dave, you know, from Morbid Angel.
Okay, yeah.
And anyway, so I guess Morbid Angel bought this building in the early '90s, and when they got divorced, she was left this building. So anyway, we went to go see it. I was so excited just to see, you know, and man, we go in there, and I swear to you, it's like 2,400 square feet, but you know, the ceilings are 20 feet tall, so it's big. And as soon as we tried to push the door open, we immediately just hit gear, you know, like musical gear. And we're like, what the fuck, you know? And so it had all this theatrical stuff in there. And then on the wall, there was still the set list, man, written from Morbid Angel. And they haven't been there since like 93. There were old, some of Dave's old like prototype basses were still in there. All this cool shit, you know. But man, that place was fucking disgusting, man. And so yeah, we completely redid it. And so I didn't know of a better way to invest my time and invest in this band than so I did all this work, and basically now I have our next 3 records paid for.
Nice.
So it was like a very cool way. Like I said, I do the same thing with how we have our videos made, you know. Again, no dollars changed hands. You know, some of us have some construction background and this and that, so we trade out work. and it's worked very well for us.
All right. So are you also gonna like record and produce the full-length album yourself? Did I understood correctly, or are you just is gonna be someone else in the Morbid Angels?
We're going to record there. We're going to produce it ourselves. I guess if that's even, I don't even know if I'm answering the question properly. But our buddies, like I said, he's going to engineer it and he's going to mix it and master.
Okay, yeah. So it's going to be a bit less like a Pro Tools time for you personally.
My gosh, man.
Yes.
It was laughable, man. Like I said, because Pro Tools for me was fucking confusing, So I learned what I learned, and I know that I've probably only learned about 10%. And I might even be being generous to myself, But I learned enough to pull it off,
Yeah, and the end product it sounds like I wouldn't have known because it sounds so like so well produced and organic. So it's like but I think like Pro Tools is kind of like a norm in the metal industry and like all music industry that I cannot even like tell anymore. Like when it's been like all digital or like all analog equipment. Yeah, it's really hard to tell these days.
Yeah. The one thing we're grateful for is, even though the guy who will be engineering this next record, even though he's definitely a massive step up from me doing anything, he truly understands where we're coming from and is not trying by any means to polish us up, but the areas that need to be just, you can listen to that EP and you will hear drums go, like they'll die out. They'll, these are just things I couldn't fucking figure out, things like that won't be there anymore. So it's just going to be, I don't know if I'd ever want to have some big polished record, By no means I don't believe in lo-fi recording, me personally. What we did, we were fucking swinging for the fences, and people were like, oh man, this doesn't, this isn't as, I don't know the proper word. It's not, normal stuff is here and yours is here, and I'm like, I don't give a shit, man. We did the best we could. So I'm not going to just bury this, this is who we are. It's what we did. And we're loud and proud about it,
Yeah. Like you said, it's honest. It's a really honest sounding record in the best possible way. Yes.
Thank you.
For that, I agree. So like, any idea for like scheduling wise when the full length album is coming out, or do you have also any like titles to give away? What we're gonna expect?
I don't. It's so. We literally, this just came out actually a little bit less than a month ago, and we've just continued writing. Our goal is to just put it, within reason, just to put it out as fast as we can. We're just going to keep writing. When we're ready, we'll put it out. The one thing that we'll probably do differently this time, the biggest challenge of that EP that Walled was getting it to sound consistent, because we would record one song at a time, and I made even someone who doesn't record wouldn't have made the mistakes I made. I would like change my amp settings, practice with another band, move the microphones around, no consistency, so those things we'll try to like maybe demo it out, ourselves, and then we'll go and record, one session. And I can't wait to do that and not be behind, going like this, one finger at a time. I don't know any key commands. I don't know any quick shortcuts. Someone who knows what they're doing would probably want to hit me with a baseball bat watching me do it,
Yeah. But as long as you don't lose that some indescribable Florida spirit, then
Without
I think you guys will be fine. You will be fine.
Thank you.
So looking slightly like into the past, with your several demos and EPs that you put out in the 90s, and the Metal Neck that was also not in full length, but an EP, which I learned before we started recording.
Mhm.
So, were there any plans to reissue those in a way or another in the future?
We would really like to, and it's being discussed. I think it's just going to come down to when the right time is, you know. But we would really like to re-release what we recorded with Chuck. We were the first band. He started a studio called Black Diamond Studios. One of his favorite bands was Kiss, you know. So he called it Black Diamond Studios. But before he actually even got a building, we were the first ones to come into his house and record. And Trevor Paris, Obituary, he was there for all the sessions. He as well did the cover art right when he first started graphic school. And it's not the best cover, but here's the beautiful part. Is we're still very good friends, and so he's going to recreate, you know, the cover art for that. And
nice.
Which is very fitting, you know. And so yeah, but we absolutely plan on re-releasing that. And then maybe, you know, we might do I would never use the word like best of, but we may take a few songs from each thing and you know and try to you know, put some stuff out.
So some sort of like a compilation album would be
Sure
an idea. Nice.
Sure.
What was the name of the demo or EP that Chuck recorded with you guys?
It was called Drain.
Sorry?
Drain.
Drain.
Drain, yes.
Right. Yeah. Nice. By the way, what is it that you are drinking right now?
Oh, this is Monster.
Oh, the Monster energy drink.
I drink way too many of them, but I like them a lot.
All right. Would you say like how what's the percentage of your blood? Is it like a more red cells or Monster these days?
Oh, Monster by far. I think the day of the show, I realized yesterday, we were at dinner last night. Andrew's still in town, and I realized yesterday I was going on 48 hours with no water, just Monster. But there's water in Monster.
Oh, yeah. So it's the new water. Nice.
It's cheaper than cocaine, and it doesn't get me in trouble.
That's a good like a life hack for all the people out there. I don't even remember when was the last time I had Monster, so I might give it a try these days and think of you while drinking it. Put some Intoxicated on and drink it. Nice. Yeah, so you and Greg from the band have both played in Finland with Andrew WK twice. Do you have any memories from those shows?
I can remember. So I believe if I don't want to lie to you, but if I remember, it was 2 different times of the year. So one time it was dark most of the day, you know. And then one time it was light most of the day, if I remember correctly. And I definitely enjoyed it being darker. But I can remember. Here's what, like, we were pretty fucking heavy drinkers, you know. But I remember going from bar to bar, and this was like 4 or 5 in the morning, and walking with these dudes that looked like we were cut from the same cloth, built from the same, you know, family. And, you know, we were just pounding drinks and going from bar to bar. And these dudes were charging from, you know, to the next bar, throwing up, but never stopping the step, you know. And I was just like, these fucking guys, like, I wanted to move there, you know.
So were they like just regular pie passers, or were they like from some other Finnish band?
I don't totally remember. I believe they're just people we met at the bar, you know. But we just immediately we just started buying trading shots, you know.
Okay, cool. Yeah, those like people who can just like barf and then like go on their way. I'm kind of jealous because if I barf, that's like a game over for me.
Game
like,
over,
yeah.
These guys weren't even missing a step, you know. They were very skilled.
professionals, Finnish professionals.
But also, Lexi from Children of Bodom. He did a cover of one of Andrew's songs.
I think it was This is
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, and we had the pleasure of performing that with him a few times actually in the States.
Nice.
And I really like that band.
Yeah,
I guess go ahead.
Yeah, they were also one of the first like harder bands that I started listening to. So they were like my gateway drug into more extreme music back in the day when Hate Crew Death Roll was released.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good album. It's a special one for me.
They're fun to party with, man.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also like disbanded Children of Bodom, but now they have Alexi has formed the new like Bodom After Midnight, if I remember correctly, is the new.
Yes, I believe you're correct.
Yeah. Have you like do you have any like expectations or any insight, or are you like still in connection with Alexi?
I'm not personally, but I'm very excited. I haven't even heard it yet, but you know it's going to be good. You know, that's that's another one of those guys that's like, fuck, man, how is he so good? You know.
Yeah, true. Talking about like Finnish professional drinkers and like generally, I think like especially like an internet meme, it's been the thing, the Florida man / Florida woman, like these news articles, for example. Well, I cannot like improvise a Florida man news article from the top of my head because they're so bizarre.
Yeah.
However, do you have like any like personal favorites throughout your Florida life of like these bizarre Florida man news articles that have like struck a nerve in your brains?
Well, not necessarily one in particular, but what is funny is because I was born and raised here, but I have lived in other areas, and I can remember sitting with a past girlfriend and her family, and literally when the news would come on and they would start telling a story, you'd hear someone from another room go, "They got to be from Florida," you know. So it's this it's this curse that I love, you know. Because a lot of people think that Florida is just a bunch of fucking hillbilly rednecks, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Now they do exist, you know.
Yeah.
And truth be told, I'm glad they exist, you know. I love it, and I think the people that hate Florida and that are scared of it, that makes me happy. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, especially they give at least a good like comedy for the people around the globe.
For the world.
Yeah. I think there was also like a kind of like a thing that if you put your like a birth date, like for me it's 27th of February, and then like a Florida man or Florida woman on Google, and it will give you like a article from that date, and that was also
really?
And people were like on Facebook, we were like having these comment sections where people were posting their like search hits,
the results. Yeah, that's awesome.
There's a lot of fun stuff. All right, this is a segment that I like to call Circle of Deterrence. Some because it's playful.
Sure.
I'm a playful guy.
Nice.
So, and I want to also spread around like positivity and like this that artists are like reaching out to other artists. So, which musicians / artists / etc. who are still alive today would you like to send your shout outs, regards, appreciation, reverence, and so on and so on?
I would, and I don't want to disclude anybody, but right off the top of my head, Ben and Sammy from Goat Whore. I just totally love what they do, and also really nice dudes, and also even back from the Acid Bath days, with Sammy, I was a massive fan of that. And like I said, I'm a sucker for it. The one thing I'm guilty of is I don't listen to enough new music, and I should, but I'm guilty of that. I'll listen to a lot of the same shit, but I can't say it enough. I mean, I am John Tardy and Donald Tardy. You just can't say enough about the patience that they have created in their music. I'm always guilty, and once you start hearing some of the earlier Intoxicated, they're still very short songs, but there might be like 12 different riffs. So I'm the opposite of patient. But I so admire the simplicity, but yet it's still so fucking brutal, and I love the fact that they're brothers too, and again, kind of in the cut from the same cloth as, like, let's say Sammy or Ben is couldn't be the more nicest guys in the world, so I don't know if that totally answered your question, but
Totally, yeah, because it has like struck my nerve whenever like a musician of like a higher caliber, for example, when Lemmy passed away, people, of course, were like revering him even when he was still alive. But there has also been musicians and artists who, during their lifetime, don't get the recognition and support they otherwise would deserve. But when they pass on, then people are like, oh yeah, I was a huge fan, loved their work. So I want to like people to open their mouths and hearts while people are still around to hear them.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah, that's one of my missions. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. At this point, do you have any like final thoughts and greetings to Finnish readers and viewers of this video?
Well, first and foremost, we're so grateful that you exist, because otherwise people may not even be hearing about us, and we don't take for granted that for a lot of people it's the first time even hearing the name, and so, and I could tell right when I saw your face, man, that there's a passion in you, and I'm a very big person on like believing people, and right away, I love it, and I really respect what you do, and again, we appreciate it. And that being said, I can't start lying to you, because that we don't have any plans, or we don't have necessarily a way to come there yet. But obviously, I would get on a plane right now. So we're very much looking forward to the opportunity of coming there and sharing an experience of playing.
Yeah, we would fucking love to have you guys here.
Thank you.
Oh boy, and then I would be in the mosh pit without my shirt on, sweating and shouting, wow.
Put your mask in your back pocket.
Yeah, I will enter the mosh pit with the mask, but then I will take it off, put it in my pocket, and then start banging heads. Yes. All right. I think this is like a good point to stop. We covered a lot of the past, present, and the future. And we will look forward to seeing you live, and also your future releases with the new material, and also the probable compilation albums from the past. So let's talk again when something new has been released. So we will keep Intoxicated,
Absolutely.
State of Mind in Finland still going.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Nice. Thank you, Erik, for your time, and let's stay in touch.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sellaista Paynen Erik ties tällä kertaa meille kertoa. Jos tykkäsit tästä videosta ja haluat tietää, koska seuraavaa taas pumpahtaa eetteriin, niin ei muuta kuin sitten tuolta tykkää, missä täällä se nyt onkaan, tykkää, share, jos niin kuin kavereille haluat kans Erikin mietteitä jakaa, niin jakakaa tätä videota ja tilatkaa tämä meidän videohälytykset, kun se on tosta, mikä on tuo tommonen bell-kello, niin sieltä sitten näitä näpyttelemällä niin voidaan tehdä näitä meidän somejuttuja. Kyllä vaan. Eipä siinä mitään taas seuraavaan kertaan. Lesonen kuittaa, moro!